Tim, Man United fan. Tim, what do you want to say?
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Not bad at all, Tim.
Just need to vent a little frustration.
Go on, the floor's yours.
go,
Vent,
Tim.
go on, have it.
Well, Mason Mount, first off, I mean, let's get the positives out of the way. Talented midfielder, really hard-working player, so I love that. He's got a bit of skill. He works really hard. So, you know, he's got a +1 on McTominay. Not only does he run around a bit, he actually understands football. But, you know, the guy with 12 months left on his contract, and Chelsea had 48 hours to get their financial fair play calculations in. And Man United have done a deal for 60 million. So do the math there. Yet again, we've overpaid the market for a player priority for us. Let's be honest, of what he does, that is a transition player in the forward areas between midfield and attack, which we have players that may not be arguably better than him or could be better than him in Eriksen and Bruno, but what is the priority positions for Man United in a transition season after a first season from Erik Ten Hag, where we've recovered from a disastrous period under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, where we have a team that is growing into an actual style and culture of football that we want to progress to. I think Mason Mount's a good thing, but he's not the priority. We need a striker. We need a better defender than Harry Maguire. And most importantly, which I never understand about Man United since Ferguson left, which he always grasps, is we need a midfield. And for some reason, ever since Ferguson left the club, we've never bothered with the midfield. When I talk about midfield, I don't talk about attacking midfielders, 8s and 10s. I talk about people that beat up the midfield. When teams win the Premier League, talk about the players that win the midfield. With Chelsea, it was Kante. With the current team, it's City, it's Rodri. Arsenal didn't win the league for one reason. They had Thomas Partey, which is not on the same level. Don't get me wrong, he's not a bad player, but Arsenal have just spent 100 million on Declan Rice for a reason. You want to win the Premier League, you've got to have one of the best midfielders in the world in your Premier League team. And for Man United, we've had players like Michael Carrick, Paul Ince, Roy Keane, Brian Robson in my lifetime in those positions. Since Ferguson's left, we've had players like Thomas Schneiderlin, a 97-year-old Bastian Schweinsteiger,
Marouane Fellaini. Like you're saying that, it hasn't the level hasn't been there. Tim, how confident are you in Erik Ten Hag though, that because the report's saying that he really wants Mason Mount. So in terms of his vision for the next stage for us, because I agree with you about the priority situation. Goalkeeper, need a striker, and we need, how confident you in Erik Ten Hag to do that with Mount?
I'm 100% confident in Erik Ten Hag as a coach. And I think Mason Mount is a brilliant signing. I think we've overpaid for him.
Yeah.
But I also think we've prioritised a signing that is easy to do. We've done it at an early point in the transfer window, which we didn't need to do, because Chelsea need to get the deal done now. We don't. We know Mason Mount wants to come to us. We could sign him at the end of the transfer window. What we need is a striker. What we need is a centre-back that can replace Maguire. But the most important thing we need to be doing is selling players. Because we've got a ton of players at our club that aren't good enough, that are on too much money, and that can help ease our financial fair play for ourselves. So Chelsea, people talk about Chelsea, they're signing this, they're signing that. But the most impressive thing about Chelsea this season in the transfer window for me is they're selling players.
For big prices as well.
Man United are a badly run club. We're one of the largest sports franchises in the world. If you put them into a commercial terms of a financial house or any other kind of business, they're a behemoth.
Yeah.
But their business practices are like that of a kindergarten school. It's embarrassing. The money we spend compared to the money we get in means that whoever buys the club is going to be hamstrung by the fact that we have these amortization problems from the economics of spending huge amounts of money on people's wages, and we get outbid in the transfer market. I mean, let's be honest.
Tim's just. I think he's gone there. I think he's got off. Good call. He wanted to vent.
Yeah.
He's vented.
He is vented. He is
And he's
venting.
got some really good points as
Yeah.
well. It's not that he's not happy with Mason Mount coming.
No,
He's
the
upset about the
priorities.
price.
Yeah.
And as you said as well earlier, a bit the priorities as well. Great call, Tim. Let's see if we can get some more. Lewis, Manchester United fan. Lewis, you were listening to that. Did you agree with Tim? Disagree? Where are you on it?
Evening, guys.
Evening.
Flex, good to talk to you, mate. Watch your channel all the time.
Thank you, man.
Tim was spot on. I think Flex would agree with most of that as well.
Yeah.
I'm underwhelmed. You know, we've sounds like we've blown half of our transfer budget on a player we don't need. Yeah, we need to strengthen the midfield, granted, because we tend to lose the midfield battle in most games, especially the away matches, but he's not the priority. The priority is a goalkeeper. We can't just keep sticking with De Gea. I just hope we don't hear any news tomorrow that he signed a new deal. We're stuck with him for another year or two. We've got to play out from the back. We've got to play the modern day football, and you can't do that with De Gea in goal. So I want to hear us signing Onana from Inter Milan. That would excite me. So, and the striker, we desperately need a striker. But who's out there? We're not going to get Kane, are we? And all the other options like Osimhen and one or two others, they're going to be out of our price range. So we'll probably end up sticking with Martial again, who we know is not the answer and never has been. That worries me a lot. We can't play Rashford up top. He's on the wing, isn't he? So he's not the answer as a backup emergency, striker. So I'm really worried. Okay, Mount, he's got some attributes he can bring to the team, but it doesn't excite me. We've got to get players like Tim was saying. We've got loads of players on the books there, but the problem is there's a lot of dead wood there, but they're all on these stupid wages. And who's going to come in? Who's been linked to our players? When do you ever hear about, so-and-so team's after Martial or so-and-so team's after Fred or whoever, Sancho? Because they're all on these crazy wages, or some of them are just not good enough.
Yeah, no, honestly, look, problems for United. I can't believe it. United fans not happy at all with this Mason Mount deal. It's strange. Again, I get it, it's not a priority, but I think it's still a quality player.